Hey there, seminar students. All right, so today we're going to be working on one of the simpler thinking maps. This one is called a circle map, and it's used for defining things in context. So when we are given definitions or asked to explain, identify something, that is an occasion when we might use this particular kind of map. And if you look at the screen, you can see I have an example here for you of what one might look like. We're going to be creating our own. So let me just get rid of that one now that you've got a general idea of what they look like. In the center, you're going to put the item being described. And then in that outer circle, you're going to put as much information as you can find or think might be related to the topic or item you're describing. And then you can see here that there is a rectangle around the circle. That is a frame. It's called the frame of reference. And that's where you'll put any information that would tell the person who looks at this map where you got this information from or why it might be important. Sometimes your teacher will give you a question that you will be answering, and your answer would go here in this frame of reference. So now that we've seen that, let's go ahead and try making our own. I'm going to have you guys begin by creating a circle map telling all about you, because you are an expert about you. So you're going to begin by writing your name on your paper and then drawing a small circle around it. So in this case, I'll write Mrs. Bairden for me. And I'm going to create a small circle around my name. So you can see that I've done this. Sorry, it's not the best quality image, but you can see that I've written my name, Mrs. Bairden, here. Now around my name, I'm going to be putting details and information about myself that I feel comfortable sharing with others. So remember that in this case you are doing this for your teacher, so if you're not comfortable with your teacher knowing something, just omit that information. Alright, so I'm going to put details about myself. I love music. I have 2 kids. Now this is a brainstorm, so it does not need to be neat. You can probably see on here I've got one thing written in cursive, I've got another thing written in script. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It is about getting your ideas and your thoughts down on paper, because a thinking map is just that. It is a map to demonstrate your thinking process. So it's not going to be perfect. It's okay to make mistakes, even spelling ones, but you didn't hear me say that. Okay, so I love music. I have 2 kids. Let's see, I am married. I live in Yucca Valley. Let's see if I can think of something a little bit more personal. Now, these things often do take a little bit more time than you think. You're not just writing down random things on paper. You actually need to put thought into the process, and so you need to spend a little time deciding what you're going to put on here. Now I've given some very superficial information about myself, and I'm going to try and think of something maybe a little bit more personal that I can add in here that will maybe give me a little bit more ownership or make it just feel a little bit more authentic. So I am going to give another detail about myself, something that perhaps not everyone would know. I have never won a contest. Not ever. And I have a compulsion to always be early. So if I'm supposed to be somewhere at 8, I'm usually there at 7:45, because I don't feel comfortable if I'm not there early. So I'm going to put compulsively early on here. All right. Something else that's kind of goofy. My husband is constantly telling me that I have a habit of touching my eyes when I'm bored or tired. So it's a strange habit, but it's something I do really often. So I'm going to put on here touch my eyes when I'm bored. Now, I'm going to show this to you so that you can see it is not written in any real order. It is just put on there. Now, when I feel like I've got as many details as I want to share, I am then going to put a large circle around the information, thusly. So now you can see I've got my circle, and I'm going to now create a frame. Now earlier I was mentioning some of the places where I got this information from. So in my frame of reference, I'm going to note where this information came from. And I can still add more details to this. For example, maybe I want to say that I'm outgoing. People tell me I am. So I'll put outgoing on here. It would be a good idea to think of positive things for yourself, not negative. So I don't want to see a list of faults on here. Please keep it as positive as you can. So I'm trying to think of positive things like outgoing to put on here to add to my craziness that I've got so far. Now, as far as my frame of reference, I'm going to put information about where I learned these things. So some of these things I just happen to know about myself from reflection. So I'm going to put myself on here. Some of these things now my husband tells me about the I thing. So I'll put husband. Let's see. Oh, the compulsively early thing. My sister-in-laws complain about this often because they have the opposite, where they feel like, 45 minutes late is on time and an hour late is just normal. So I hear about this from my family. The outgoing thing I've heard often from friends, so I'm going to put friends in here in my frame. So you see that we are now getting a clearer picture of the topic we're discussing. So in this case, we're talking about ourselves. We put all of the information we can find out that we were willing to share in the outer circle. And then in the rectangular frame around it, we put where we obtain this information. I'm going to add observation. So I'm adding observation. Now, just to remind you all, this is called a circle map. Really confusing, right? You're never going to get that looking at it. Okay, maybe my circles are a bit off, but it is a circle map, and normally it does look circular. And a circle map is used for defining terms or ideas in context. So whenever you are defining something, this is the thinking process that you're using. So this is the map that you want to use. Thank you.